hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so we just watched the movie. It was pretty intense.
Oh, I
so,
like that. Intense is a very important word. I like that you use that
yes.
because, yeah, because since it's
Thanks for.
technically it should be a documentary, even if I like to, I prefer to call it docufiction because in a way it starts in telling some kind of things and this finishes in a negative way, saying that now the situation is very bad, is changed completely. So the saying that the commentary is intense is a very, very good compliment that you made us. Thanks.
Yeah, so tonight you're kind of our key person to understanding a bit more about the context of the film and about the context of the film in Italy, especially. So maybe you can share your insights. How was the film received in
Oh,
Italy? This
in
like
Italy,
the people,
we.
younger generations, they didn't. Yeah.
I have to tell you something that probably you don't know. It will come as a surprise. We had a very,
Yeah.
very big problem with censorship. Even if the Italian government decided that people with more than 14 years, people more than 14 years old could see the movie, still Facebook decided to censor it. So they cancelled completely the page of the movie, and we had 20,000 contacts, so it was very important.
Wow.
It blocked the page of the Carmine Amoroso, of the director, of the
Wow.
producer, Francesco Constabile, and it censored my page and many other pages of people that put contents of the film on Facebook, or just even just the image, the promotional image of the movie that was taken from movie from Lasse Brown, from, I suppose, I'm not sure, but I suppose it was from 81, I think 81,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a detail. The original poster for this Lasse Brown movie showed a black woman with a bare naked, and a white mouse going toward her nipples. But it was a wall figure. We took only this detail, and this detail was censored by Facebook in 2016, this year, when in 1981 it was spread all around Italy in porn cinemas, because at the time in Italy there were many theaters, movie theaters, they were showing porn films already. And so there was no censorship at the time for the Italian government. There is no censorship now for the Italian government. There was censorship for Facebook. And this created a cascade, some kind of a cascade of censorship, because the distributor had a lot of problem with the movie theater owners, because the movie had to be shown in 22 different cities in Italy, but this didn't happen. Only 7, 8 cities showed the movie, and only in a few theaters, because many of these, they, with excuses, complete excuses, they decided not to show it, saying that they show also movies for children. So this image that I said you of the nipple, the mouth with the nipple was too strong, or didn't, or even some theaters, they just took it off, or didn't even show the one day without giving us no motivation for this. On the contrary, the way in which the critic received the movie, the critics and the audience, was very, very, very good. So it was so strange because you had, I mean, consumers and people involved in the, like to say, in the industry that had two different, completely different ways of approaching the movie. I mean, I think that for a movie theater owner, not to show a movie that was already publicized, advertised in newspapers, in listings, in internet sites about cinema, it means a loss of money. But they prefer the loss of money instead of programming, of showing the movie. So we have a theory, and this is not a very pleasant theory, and that is that in Italy recently, I don't know how to call it in English because it's, you know, you remember the word pax, that is a sort of very soft gay marriage, like to say civil union between people of the same sex. This law was approved in Italy a couple of months before. No, I mean not a couple of months before, actually a couple of weeks, sorry, before. And we think that some very extremist, conservative, right-wing Catholic organizations, they were so stuck negatively by this law that they decided to have a revenge, and the revenge was made by censoring our movie. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still there. And
Because
I'm
I don't see any
listening. It's very
feedback.
interesting.
Yeah, it's you
Yeah,
know.
actually,
You know, I tell you another thing. We have a religious radio that broadcasts from Poland. That is called Radio Maria. Maria like the Virgin Mary. You know, and
yeah, I've heard of it.
you know, probably you have heard that recently we have had some earthquakes in several earthquakes in Italy. And one of the DJs, of the conductors, that is a priest of Radio Maria, said that the reason for there was the earthquake in Italy, it was because God wanted to punish Italians because they made this law for civil unions of gay couples. So, you know, it's not that our theory is so weird, because they are really thinking this. They are thinking even worse things. They are thinking that sexuality, love between people of the same sex is something obscene, something that should be forbidden, something that is against the law of God. And so God makes earthquake and humans censor movies. That's, I mean, it's we don't even laugh because it's so sadly, outrageously ridiculous. I don't know.
So nothing is over after all. You know, we also had some adventures with Facebook when preparing for the screening and for the premiere. We tried to boost. We published the images of the film, the trailer, and we tried to boost our events like 3 times, and Facebook rejected all of them.
Oh,
So
it's incredible.
beautiful.
We have in Italy we had a very funny things happening about this. That is one of the camera operators of the movie. He has been elected at the Senate. You know, the two cameras, the Parliament and the Senate. So he's a senator now of Movimento 5 Stelle. Probably you have heard of this party, this opposition party. And he made a very strong intervention at the Senate talking about this censorship. And he said one very, very important thing. He said, Italy is a sovereign government, and the same goes for Latvia, I can say, or any other country except for America. And then we have a company that is based in the United States, and they pretend to apply their own laws on another country. So if the Italian laws allow us to do certain things, and I suppose also the Latvian law allows you to do promotion, because there is nothing pornographic, really pornographic, even if the movie is called Porn and Freedom, and still Facebook pretends to make their own laws. I'm just asking myself, since we have seen what happened 2 days ago in the United States about the elections, I'm just asking myself what Mark Zuckerberg voted for which candidate he voted.
There was something interesting you also said in the film about the relationship between censorship and this subversive nature of sex.
Yeah.
Like meaning that maybe after the finish of the censorship, it's kind of gotten a bit more boring. It's descending. So can you maybe expand on it, like in the context of right now, the situation right now?
Yeah, I want to tell you two things, two different things. One is that the porn industry in Italy, this is not said, not shown in the movie, but the porn industry in Italy became very big, but also very strange. Like, for example, we had for many years porn magazines in the newsstands. They were only 18 years old could buy them, but still they were on sale. Like to say, one of these magazines, for example, was called Animal Orgies, and there were at least 3 magazines that were showing sex between human beings and animals. And this was made in a very animalistic, pro-animal way. It was not against animals, but still it was porn with animals. And these magazines were freely sold in the newsstands. So it means that Italy became very liberal. Even if we had the Vatican, there were big freedom about consumption of pornographic material, hardcore porn, or whatever we want to call it. And at the end, this created a very strange situation in which people became accustomed to everything. And also, I think that the spread of technology and of social networks made possible for a lot of people. I wrote a book in the 15 years ago already. No, 25 years ago. I wrote a book about cyber sex. And what I was saying in this book, it was that cyber sex technology was very important for sexual minorities, because it allowed them to find people like them. Because if you are gay, you can go to a gay club. From back to the 70s, we have gay clubs in Italy. But for people that was part of minorities, like, for example, people into BDSM, cross-dressers, or even more specific minorities, it was like that they were feeling isolated and saying, oh, it's only me doing this. Also lesbians, in a way, were feeling this, because gay clubs where they used to have dark rooms, and some gay clubs used to have a no women, no transsexual policy. And when the internet made easy for everyone to express itself, these minorities, that they were doing, like to say, some sort of political or socio-cultural struggle to be heard, to be considered, to be part of what exists and what vibrates, they said, okay, we have got what we wanted, and who cares now? Nothing matters anymore. And so they started to become very reactionary. Now we have a situation in which, for example, we have, like in the United States, also in Italy, there are many transsexual women, transsexual men, they are still closeted. But we have many transsexual women that they are part of right-wing, even extreme right-wing parties, and they were in the elections candidates for these parties, because they said, oh, okay, I'm a transsexual, I'm a woman like the others, but I want to be a superstar. In the past it was, I want to be a woman and I want to be accepted like a human being, not I want to be a superstar. So now it's like to say, too much freedom takes away the will to fight for your rights. And the funny thing is that we still don't have rights. Transsexual people still don't have rights. Transsexual people, or even more, transgender people in Italy, now they say, oh, I can go in television, I can go in, probably you know this television format that is called the Big Brother, because it's from them also in every country. In Europe on television they have the Big Brother, you know, in which people is put in a house, they can't go out, and they are
like a reality show.
Yeah, reality show, 24 hours they are monitored. So transsexual men and transsexual women now they are stars in the reality show, but still you cannot change your sexual identity or your name on the legal documents, on the legal papers. I mean, we have media stardom, but we don't have laws, we don't have rights. We are transsexual and transgender people are still second-rate citizens, but still they can star in media shows. So, I mean, this kind of pseudo, because I don't think it's a real freedom, that social network gave, that it was essentially media exposure, took away to the people the will to continue to fight for their own rights. So, I mean, you know, in many countries in Europe there is gay marriage. We had to fight, and at the end it was only the European community, the European government that said to the Italian government, you have to do this because you are left the only country in Europe that has no agreement, no laws for same-sex couples. It was not because the gay, the LGBT organizations, they were fighting. They were doing demonstrations, they were doing activity, political activity, but it was not their political activity, it was not enough, it was only the will of the European government. So what is happening is, I mean, I'm politically, I consider myself a situationist of the, you know, the French situationists on my specifical direction is the one of oh I forgot the name. It doesn't matter now. I will tell you after. Van Eyck. I'm following the Van Eyck line that is more anarcho-libertarian, and what I feel is that their predictions of the 50s, they were completely realized first in Italy, then in all the other countries, because we had this guy Berlusconi that used his television, used the media to give people what the lumpenproletariat wanted, like to say tits and ass and a cheap entertainment, and to keep them away from the real needs, not the problems, because the problems, the people, they are still facing them every day, every hour of the day. People is poor and more poor every day. Middle class are disappearing completely and everything like that. But still, the cheap entertainment, the television cheap entertainment, the spectacle cheap entertainment made the people behave like passive sheep that they didn't had the energy to fight back. And so in Italy it happened before, but I suppose is going on everywhere in the Western world, at least. So
Yeah, I think we are facing in Latvia quite similar issues, maybe even more regarding the freedom of.
Yeah, because but the harsh thing that we have faced, we have to face is the fact that sex and sexuality is a very powerful weapon. Is a weapon of change. Is a weapon of sensibilization. You know that if for example, I suppose you are aware about the activity of this group called Femen. Even if I don't completely agree with them, because I think that there is something very exploitative in what they do. Instead, they should display a different kind of female image. But still, they showed that with the nakedness and open sexuality, or I mean, it's only an image in this kind, but still you can make the news and you can be heard in what you want to say, even if after a while they lost power. But still, at the beginning, it was very shocking. This was very shocking. Pussy Riot was very shocking, even if it was not so openly sexual, but still it was women in Russia, in a country, pretending to be subversive against the government, and they were. And the government understood how they were powerful in what they were doing. Still, it seems like that we have lost this kind of examples. We should use sexuality, open, public sexuality in media, in our form of expression, much more, to try to shock, create create shock and raise awareness about the problems that are increasing. You know, in Poland, for example, the government a few weeks ago tried to prohibit, to cancel the laws about abortion. In Mexico, too. In Italy also there is a very strong Catholic movement that it tries to take away this law. And I'm not very well informed about this, but I think that the similar movements, they are spreading all around Europe. So we have to fight, because our rights are being taken away. And we have to fight. And since these rights are about our bodies, our sexuality, our sexual identity, our gender identity, so sex, gender, sexuality are the things that the religious organizations, that is not only Catholics, but there are more other groups. For example, a few days ago I was censored once again by Facebook, because we made a movie about the history of punk in Bologna, And since I was part of the punk scene in Bologna, you can imagine this. And the movie, the premiere of the movie was showed in a cinema that was 50 meters next to the headquarters, I don't know how to call it, of my record label at the time, in which we made 80 records in 10 years of mainly hardcore punk, but we made atheist records, satanist records, gay records, records talking about politics and free expression, records that were in a way damned, that were subversive. And now, when we came out of the cinema after the premiere of this movie about punk, we discovered that where there was my record label, now there is a church. There is a church of evangelical church. So I made a video, and I put this video on YouTube. And then I posted the YouTube video on YouTube, nothing happened. I posted this video saying to them, I tell to you that the queer energy, the atheist energy of the walls of this place, they will give you nightmares of having Dionysiac sex and making sex between males and males and females and females. So I tell to you, have sex and be happy. So it was nothing bad against them, and this was cancelled, censored by Facebook once again. So it says every time that we talk about sexuality, this causes censorship. So they are afraid, they are scared of this, of our will to use our sexuality and our gender awareness and our power, sexual power. So we have to use it. And I tell you, you say that the situation in Latvia is going the same way, and so if you can do the same, use the sex as a weapon, because it's the body is the only thing that we really own. Is that we really own. So it's the really only weapon that they cannot take us away. So, like to say, many people say, feminists says, this is a male symbol. This is a sex pistol, okay? And the Sex Pistols, the biggest punk band, the most important punk band, uses this name because this name was shock. Let's be Sex Pistols again. This is my advice from Helena Velena. Let's be all Sex Pistols again. And this is not sexist. This is for male and female, gay and lesbians. Also lesbians use this, and everyone enjoys this real in flesh or in plastic. But let's be Sex Pistols again for this society that is trying to go back to the 50s of the last century, that tries to be oppressive and regressive, not only in economy but in all the freedom that we have fought to have. This is my message to you.
Amazing, Helena. Thanks very much for being with us here tonight and for your sparkling. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you for showing the movie and to helping us spread this message across Latvia and the Baltic regions. Thanks a lot.
We will bomb Facebook.
Fantastic. We have to do this.
All right. Thanks very much. Good night.
Good night.